Hello everybody, it's Dio here from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another Diablo 4 video. Today we are taking a look at what I'm calling my Flamethrower Sorcerer. So this is a build I saw while I was on a rogue, somebody doing this, and I thought I want in. So that was all the information I had before I started my build, and now I'm going to share what I did with you guys. So let's just jump in and take a look at my skills here. So we are only have 1 point into Arc Lash with enhanced Arc Lash. That will be a mana generator for early on when you are a little bit more mana starved. And then we went into having 5 points into Incinerate, 1 into Enhanced Incinerate and Greater Incinerate. We have 1 point into Fireball up to Greater Fireball. That is for our enchantment. We rocked into 1 into Devastation for a bit of mana, into Elemental Dominance, so our core skills deal more damage. We then went into Teleport, so we only had 1 point in Teleport to begin with, and then we slowly, as we got near max, increased it to 5. This was for our damage reduction as well to lower the cooldown. We have 1 point into Flame Shield just for a little bit of invulnerability, just in case we need to go, oh shit, and press our button. We also had 1 point into Ice Armor to begin with, and then we go into Enhanced Ice Armor and Shimmering Ice Armor. We eventually get that up to rank 3 near the end. We didn't do any Conjuration skills, we just went into Align the Elements, Mana Shield, and Protection, just to help with our mana as well as our survivability. And then we go into Inner Flames, so this is where we are dealing more damage while healthy, and we're pretty much always healthy. For our ultimate, we took the Inferno, and of course went into a Supreme Inferno, and then we took Fiery Surge, Soulfire, Warmth, and our Endless Pyre, and of course we are using Combustion. For our items, so what I have done is I basically concentrated on offensive items for our gloves, rings, weapon, and then everything on our other items were just for, oh crap, we might die kind of survivability. So on our helm, we went Helm of Might, so we could have our just basic damage reduction. I actually don't get that off a lot near the end because I don't cast Arc Lightning all that much. So that is just one thing I had to myself work on, is just to cast that to get the damage reduction. And then I have on my chest here, I just have a damage absorbing, but really that's just a just in case button. I've yet to have it proc. The ones that really matter, so for the gloves, I am rocking the, while channeling Incinerate, our burning damage is increased, and then if they are damaged by enemies damaged by Incinerate explode, burning enemies around them, which is great. Pants are another survivability item. After being damaged by 20%, we get a little bit of immunity, which is great if we ever get frozen. Boots, I went for some move speed, but the ones that matter here is so our flamethrower on our staff. So this is what gives us our 3 beams here, which is pretty awesome. And then on what I really want on my neck is I would love to actually have the engulfing flames, so burning damage to enemies below 50%. But unfortunately, I've only got that on my ring at the moment. And then the combination, then I have the Edgemaster's Chain for some extra damage while at max resource, and then the Loop of Voracious Rage. So when we kill an enemy with our core skill, which is our Incinerate, we're going to get refunded back some mana, which is what is going to keep us near full, so we can just spam this like crazy. When there's lots of mobs to hit, this thing just lasts forever. For our enchantments, we are rocking a fireball, so that when things die, they explode. And then we're also doing Incinerate, so we get our little Hydra that spawns and spews flame every so often. There he goes there. And that is basically the build in the nutshell. I'm just going to show you it in action, and then stick around and I'll go over the tempers. So here we are just going to do the Inferno and just show it in action. That's how quickly we're going to melt things. And now we're off. So yes, I am only on World Tier 3 at the moment. That is because I was playing with friends and we are generally progressing at a time, but I wanted to make a video. So rather than wait till Tier 4, I'm not sure when that'll be on, we're just doing the video now. So obviously, based on what I'm doing here, we are more than ready to be on tier 4. The damage is just crazy. And as you can see, as we spin round and round and round, we have nothing to worry about on a mana department. We can just spin and things are just going to blow up. This is amazing. I love it. This is why I wanted to do this build after just seeing the spin cycle here. It is pretty cool. And the damage is just popping right now. So we're just going to do that. So this basically shows it in action, like our ultimate we have on a 45-second. If we ever get low on mana when there's not that many mobs around, we'll pop our ice shield, or if we want a little bit of survivability, pop it just so we can get our mana back. But really, when there's mobs around, we don't have to worry about it at all. And then, like I was saying, the flame shield is just in case we need a bit of invulnerability with lots of damage coming in. That's about the only time I ever pop my flame shield. And then arc lash, this is more for while leveling. I might actually get rid of that into like a firebolt or something, but that is just while leveling to get back to mana before we get all this amazing mana regen that we have. So just in case anybody was curious how many Aethers I got in that run, I got 294. Not too shabby. Okay, so what I've done for the tempers here is I have opted for, going to my tempering, I'm just going to use my weapon here. So offensively, I was doing natural finesse, and I was trying to get just plus damage or plus damage to distance. So that is what I was trying to get there. I started to play around with pyromancy finesse. That was just more lately, but there's a lot more options here and not quite the way I like. So I prefer the natural finesse, and I tried to put that on, trying to get plus damage on the rings, amulet, gloves, and my weapon here. So here, I got lucky with the pyromancy one here, but previously I was just trying to get, like I said, plus damage or the distance. Not quite sure how I feel about this quite yet. But as you can see here, oh, I swapped that out. Didn't realize that. But we have distance to distant and distant. So let's just do that now, just for funsies. Let's throw that on. And we want to temper it. Let's see what we got. We don't want close. I would like I said, either plus damage. There we go. 106 to the distant. I like that. And then for our other pieces, are more defensive. Man, I'm bad at this. I thought I had these imprinted. So for the defensive slot, I was also going with worldly endurance. So either plus armor is going to be good. I mean, the option there is also for the... I don't like dodge chance, but the max life I was enjoying. So I kind of just prefer those. Could have maybe went for flame shield duration, but I really like the idea early on of just getting extra life. Gives you that extra tankiness where you can just kind of face tank things if you need to, as well as like keep your threat meter, your buff alive while you're in the Helltide, especially when you're fighting the boss that gets summoned. That way you can constantly spawn when your threat meter reaches the ultimate, and then they send the minions of hell, that kind of thing. And also just helps you survive against the boss that spawns there, because there's a lot of AoE damage and stuff like that. You might get clipped here or there, so life never really hurts. So I got armor on this, life here, we got more armor, and then yeah, on our boots I just went to reduce the evade cooldown just for the extra movement.
Anything breaks?
So this brings me to the end of the video. I am going to be including I did a D4 planner for this. The Paragon board is quite kind of long to talk through, so I really didn't want to cover it too much. So what I've done here is I've kind of mirrored the build that is on max roll for the Fireball build. I have mirrored that, changed it a little bit for this. But I'm not as well versed into the Paragon board as I would like, so I'll try to include it in my in my D4 planner that I've put together. But like I said, I'm not quite an expert, so I feel a little bit not so comfortable talking about that. but the items that I have here is just so superb. I just love the fact that you can just turn on your flamethrower and mow everything down. So this is actually my first attempt at a D4 guide. So if you've made it this far, I would appreciate it. Like, shares, and subscribe. So please click those buttons. And of course, if you have any feedback on the video I put together, as it is my first one for D4, used to do a lot for D3, but first one for D4. So if there's anything I missed that you would like included, or just how I covered it, any feedback is appreciated. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying Diablo 4 Season 5.